Do you have a dismissive, a preoccupied, a fearful avoidant, or a secure attachment style? What is your attachment style? Have you heard about attachment theory before? Today we're talking about attachment theory, what are the main styles, and what each one of them means for your relationship. My name is Vasi Sarandopoulou and I'm a psychologist, and this is my anti-loneliness channel, and I'm all about sharing tips and knowledge on psychology and how we can improve our mental health, our quality of life, and our relationships with others, but also with ourselves. Attachment theory was developed in the 30s for the first time by Balbi. What he was doing, he was exploring and observing the relationship between infants and their main caregivers, usually their mother. And what he was actually investigating was how this relationship was formed and developed during the years. How was the infant feeling when around their main caregiver? What was happening when the male caregiver was not there and was leaving? What was happening also when the main caregiver was coming back? How were the emotional signals from the infant to the main caregiver were transferred, interpreted, and then how are they reacting upon that? So it was not only the infant being observed, but also the main caregiver, the mother or the father, that they were observed, how they were reacting with each other according to the emotional signals that they were sending to each other. So we're not going to talk about the relationship between infant and mother, but we are going to continue that because Balbi said that according to the emotional attachment style, the emotional bond that we form during our childhood years, we tend to imitate, to copy that kind of relationship, emotional relationship with other people in our lives, and specifically with the important people in our lives, our partners, our friends, our best friends. So he took these attachment styles that he observed between the relationship of the mother and the child, and he developed the 4 attachment styles that we see in our relationships as adults. Let's talk about them. Now, in order for me to help you understand them, I am going to use a cross. So this cross will create 4 different boxes. Each one of them is a different attachment style. Each of these 2 axes is a different way that we are coping with perceived threats in our relationship. And I will explain what it is. So one axis, the vertical one, is gonna called anxiety. And the other one, the horizontal, will be the avoidance. So we tend to react in our relationship either with avoidance or with anxiety. And according to how much we use these coping mechanisms, anxiety or avoidance, then these 4 styles are formed. And remember, these 4 boxes are 4 different ways of relating, of attaching to another human being. 4 ways that we see our relationships, 4 ways that we see our own self-worth in the relationship, 4 ways that we respond to perceived threat in the relationship. So let's start with the first box. The first box is when we have high anxiety but low avoidance, and this style is called preoccupied. When a person has a preoccupied attachment style, it means that they feel really anxious when they are in a relationship, but also when they are out of a relationship. They give a lot of importance and significance in a relationship. They feel that they have to be in a relationship. They feel that there's something wrong with them when they are not in a relationship. As you can understand, they grow really dependent on being in a relationship or also from their partner. The way that they express this need to be in a relationship, to be approved, is a very expressive way, emotionally expressive way. So what happens is that when they want to request, when they want to claim something, they claim it with a lot of emotions. They get really angry, they criticize a lot, they pursue their partner so that they can bring them back in the relationship. And they want proof of love and approval and acceptance more often than the secure style that we're going to talk later. What happens is that they crave for intimacy, they crave for approval, and sometimes that works in the opposite way in the relationship, which means that they push their partner away because this is too much. The partner becomes reluctant to share more emotions or to be more intimate, because the people with the preoccupied attachment style, they pursue them in a very intense way. And that happens because they doubt about their worth as individuals. They feel scared that any moment now their partner is going to leave them and find somebody else, that they're not as important to their partner. And usually people with anxious, preoccupied attachment style, what they usually say is that, do you ever notice me? Do you ever see me around? Am I as important to you? They feel that they are not important to their partner, and they show it. They act upon that. Let's go to the second box, which is at the opposite direction. When we have high avoidance but low anxiety, this is the cool person. This is the person that seems really confident on the outside, the James Bond style. The relationships for them don't really matter, and they seem that they can go from one relationship to the other with no harm, with no cost for them. What happens with people with the dismissive attachment style is that they minimize the importance of relationships for them. What happens is that they have a positive view of themselves but a negative view of other people, which means that they want to be independent. They think that being dependent in a relationship means that they will lose their own identity, that they will lose themselves in the relationship. So they crave for this individuality and these independence. And of course, as you can understand, that is being perceived very often from the other partner as indifference, as not caring. What happens with people that they have the dismissive attachment style is that in reality, they don't feel comfortable with sharing feelings. They don't feel comfortable with trusting and opening up. They have problems with trusting. They feel that when you trust people, you will get hurt. You will get rejected. That is the initial, the deep thought inside them. So the way that they cope with that, as we said, is avoidance. They keep the distance. They don't share too much. They don't come too close. They don't become too intimate. And when their partner asks for more intimacy, then they feel that they are suffocating. They feel that this is too much and we're too close with each other. So for them, it takes more time to commit in the relationship, more time to show the evidence, the signs, the proof that they want to be in this relationship. Something that is not very widely known is that people with dismissive attachment style is that the reason that they're hiding their emotions is not only because they are not comfortable with that, but because they have learned that showing your emotions will get you into trouble. What I mean with that is that just because they don't have the emotional vocabulary for that, they think that they're going to say the wrong thing. They think that if I share too much, then it's going to be something that I will pay for that. I will say the wrong thing. I will hurt the other person. I will make the relationship worse than it is right now.